tried to ignore it. I did. So I wasn't in the mood to deal with any spirits, to do any medium work. I just wanted to have my pizza and relax, and that was gonna be it. Reoccurring over and over and over, and she wasn't able to break free from that. And when I fell asleep at night and she jumped me the way she did, she took me down to one of the darkest places that I have ever been in my life. Hey you guys, thank you so much for being here with me today. And if you clicked on this video, it's probably because it's Halloween and you're looking for some spooky stories, or you may just be one of my returning subscribers. Either way, welcome you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you are new here, my name is Lynn and this is Passionate Heart Tarot. And this is a little bit outside the context of what I normally do on this channel because it does focus on tarot card readings, love readings. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the things that I experience as a medium, as a sensitive. There's this one story that happened very recently, and if you do follow me on Instagram, you might remember when I posted showing myself doing like a cleansing really fast with some sage in my apartment, telling you guys about the spirit that walked in. So anyways, I was kind of hesitant about sharing this stuff with you guys because this story does get pretty dark. I figured it was the right time to tell her story because it was one that definitely needs to be told, because that's what she wanted from me so badly, was to say, look what happened to me. Can you believe that this happened to me? So it all started, right? I ordered a pizza, normal night, wanted to just really be by myself, watch some TV, just relax. So my pizza comes to the door. I bring it in, whatever, everything's normal. And then shortly after, I started to feel like this was before I even ate the pizza. I just had like this feeling of like nausea, like this strong feeling came over me so much, like my stomach was turning. I didn't even want to eat the food. And I thought it was because, you know, when I looked at the pizza, they put the wrong toppings on it. I'm vegan, and it looked like it had chicken breast, like breaded chicken breast on it. So it just like made my stomach turn. But it turns out it wasn't chicken breast, it was like eggplant breaded, but they do a really good job that it looked like real chicken. So anyways, I thought to myself, well, you know, just, you know, the thought of having the meat on my pizza made me feel sick. That's probably why I feel so nauseous like this. So I took a couple bites of it after I figured out that it was eggplant, and couldn't really eat that much. So then I was on the phone talking to my friend, you know, telling him about like the pizza and this and that. And while we were on the phone, literally from the hallway, so to get out of my apartment, there's like a long hallway to get to the front door. So I saw this figure come walking down the hallway, and it was like about the size of a woman. It was shapeless though. It wasn't like a ghost that you see on TV, you know, with like a perfect silhouette and you could see clothes and everything. No, this was like, it was like a shapeless figure, but I knew that it had a feminine presence to it. You couldn't make out any details. You couldn't make out any clothing. Nothing like that. And it was kind of like it looked like a grayish cloud, and it had like a little sparkle to it. I know that sounds crazy, but can you imagine, you know, I'm on the phone talking to my friend, and then I see this figure literally walk down the hall and come right into the middle of my living room. I was like, did I really just see that? Because now that I look back, it was like attached to that woman who brought the pizza to my house. I just feel like the spirit was on such a long journey to try to get to me, to find me so I could help her. So it was like no coincidence that I felt that nausea after the pizza came is because she was already in my house. You know, sometimes when you feel the presence of spirit, it can result in like a nauseous feeling. So when I hung up the phone with him, and I was just kind of like, tried to ignore it. I tried to ignore it. I did. Thinking like, okay, maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me. Maybe I'm tired. You know, I didn't really just see this figure come walking down the hall into the middle of my living room. And a few minutes passed, and I was here alone, you know, just trying to not think about it. And then I heard someone say, clear as day, right in my ear, hi. Just like super cheerful, like, hi. And when I heard that, I got up off the couch. I was so freaked out. And I knew that what I saw was really what I saw. I saw the spirit of a woman come into my living room. And it was just so weird to me that she was so happy to see me. And the whole thing, it made me mad. It made me mad because I felt like it was so rude of her to just walk in uninvited. And I needed my personal space. I needed to be alone. I needed to have everything quiet around me. So I wasn't in the mood to deal with any spirits, to do any medium work. I just wanted to have my pizza and relax, and that was gonna be it. So when she said hi to me, I got up. I didn't want her there, wanted to kick her out, block any kind of messages, anything that she wanted to say to me. And I know that that is so wrong of me to do, because it's like, it's my responsibility. It did feel like it was an invasion of my space because she was not invited into my house. But when she showed me what happened to her, it's like, how dare I refuse to help a spirit that was suffering the way that she was suffering? And I'm telling you that this story gets so dark. So anyways, I started to, you know, light my sage. I was really scared because I didn't know, even though she cheerfully said hi to me, I didn't know what her intentions were. What did she want? What did she want with me? So my first instincts were to drive her out of my apartment. That's what I wanted to do. So I started, you know, lighting my sage, started saying my prayers, lighting my white candles, doing like a cleansing kind of ritual to get her out. And then it's funny because my sage never burns. Like, I can light it a little bit and burn as much as I want to and be able to put it out. When I lit my sage, the whole, practically like I had like maybe like that much of a sage stick left, the whole thing burned, which was so unusual. My sage has never done that, and it was something that was even super creepy to me as well. Like, who is here with me, and why is it my sage burning like this? Because it represents, like, to me, that it's working really hard to cleanse whatever's in my apartment to get it out. So after the whole sage stick burned, I did start to feel better. I felt like I was alone, and I felt like I did everything that I could to make her leave. I felt like she was truly gone. I thought that, you know, everything was behind me. I went to sleep. Everything was normal until the next day. So when I look back now, I think I was just able to keep her at bay, to keep her blocks from me, but she was still in my apartment. And the way that I know that is because she woke me up the next day. I was sleeping before my alarm went off. It was really early in the morning. It was like 5 a.m. And then I felt someone hit my pillow like that. Like, she was obviously very frustrated with me because it's like I know that she had such a long journey to find me. She did. And I don't know how she found me. I didn't know who she was or anything, but for her to seek me out as her helper, and then for me to like freak out and say, oh no, get out of my apartment. And so she was mad at me, and I don't blame her based on everything that she had gone through. So she woke me up the next day by like hitting my pillow like that. And I opened my eyes and I thought, like, you are so rude. You're really just gonna wake me up by hitting my pillow like that? So it made me annoyed with her, and she was annoyed with me. It wasn't until that night when I fell asleep that she took me to a place that I've been to places like this. A lot of my mediumship is done when I'm asleep. It's much easier in that state to help without all the fear that's associated with it. You know, when you're just falling asleep, that is like when the veil is so thin that you can literally like walk on both sides, the other side and this side. So when I fell asleep that night, she jumped in. She took over because she was saying to me, like, you're not going to resist. I need you to help me, and you're going to help me. She jumped me. And if you are not familiar with what that means, it's when someone who is a medium, who is a sensitive, can have spirit around them. It's not like a possession, but it's something where they can make you see things from their eyes, make you feel things exactly the way that they felt it. And this was someone who was caught in a reoccurring nightmare, and in her own personal hell, reoccurring over and over and over, and she wasn't able to break free from that. And when I fell asleep that night and she jumped me the way she did, she took me down to one of the darkest places that I have ever been in my life. So she all that I could pick up on was that she was someone from the 1990s, and what she was, it wasn't clear to me why she was in this place, why she was there, but all that I do know is that she was being held against her will, her and several of her friends, and they were all like either late teens, early 20s, young people. The way that she died was she was shot to death, and it was like this maniac held them there. And he was, all that I could see of him was he was like a hillbilly kind of person. I saw that he had on like a flannel shirt, he had on jeans, because the way that she jumped me, it was alternating between seeing through her eyes and me seeing what happened to her as myself. So there were times when I could see what she saw, and then throughout the dream, I was myself looking at what happened to her, and it was the most vivid, the most real. This maniac was able to keep them there and kill them over and over and over. So just let me tell you what happened to her. She was trapped there against her will with several other of her friends, and the way that he killed them, murdered them, was he's made them all sit in a circle, and he would just do the most evil things to toy with them, to torture them, to instill so much fear. And then the first person that cowered, he would kill them, murder them. He had a shotgun, and he would like shoot rounds off close enough to them that it would scare them, but it wouldn't touch them. It was the way that he tortured them was one of the most disgusting, awful things that I've ever seen. And not only that, just the way that he took so much pleasure in killing off whoever he was able to kill off. So I mean, at this point, I was her. I was seeing things through her eyes, and I looked down at my legs, which were her legs, and saw where he shot the shotgun by her legs, and she moved. But the thing is that this guy was so sick. If you were to cower, if you didn't look back at him, he would kill that person. So she tried to be as brave as she could, but she saw a couple of her friends get killed right in front of her. And I'm seeing all of this through her eyes, experiencing it. And you have to understand how real it is, because as fast as her heart was pounding, I felt her heart pounding. I felt every last bit of fear that she felt, everything that she could see, everything that she could taste, smell. I experienced it myself. And he finally killed her. I felt the shotgun pressed to the top of my head, the way that, as if it were right now, pressed to the top of my head. That's how real it was. I felt the barrel, everything straight on the top of my head. And then when he fired it and killed her, all I saw was just red. Like everything in the dream just went red. And that's how she died, with the way that he was able to keep them there, because it's like residual energy that was still there in that place where she and her friends were captured, but not only residual energy from being left over from something that was so evil, a person that was so evil, like it just left a stain there. But this residual energy became its own form of consciousness. And it was something that used to be human that wasn't human anymore. Like, and could keep their souls there. They weren't able to leave even after he killed them. That's the really, really sick part of it, was that he turned into some kind of other entity that wasn't human, that once was human, but wasn't human anymore, and could keep their souls and play with them like they were toys. It was pure evil, it was pure darkness, and it was something that she was trapped in and could not escape from. She couldn't get away. And I know that this may sound really bizarre to you if you aren't familiar with this kind of thing, if you aren't familiar with the paranormal, how it works for mediums, entities, things like that. But it's very bizarre the way that energy can change from one thing to another. How he was able to keep their souls there, and he kept them like as if they were dolls. I know it may be hard for you to picture, hard for you to understand, but he kept them there like dolls. They weren't their self anymore. They became like this inanimate object for his own evil games, and he would just toy with them over and over and over. It was like on a continuous loop. So she would have to relive it over and over and over. And I've never felt that level of fear in my life. I've never felt anything like that. I felt what it was like to die, because she jumped me, I was her in that moment when she died. So I felt what it was like for her to die. I felt what it was like for her to be tortured, to be in agony, to be on the brink of being killed, and then to finally be killed, and then to have to do it over and over and over and see what was happening with her friends. So when she took me there and showed me everything that happened to her, there was like a break in time, right? Because now remember, this thing that kept them there it was something that was powerful against them because they feared it so much that they weren't able to get away from it. He became like a soul collector. He owned their soul. So that's why they couldn't cross over, they couldn't leave, they didn't know where to go, they didn't know how to get away from it. Because they were so afraid of this thing. And this really sick thing about it is that every time he would hurt them over and over, kill them over and over, he took so much pleasure in it. Like, it was so disgusting. And then because he took so much pleasure in it and all the fear that he felt, it made him more and more and more powerful. It was an unbelievable thing for me to see as someone who was going back and forth between her consciousness and myself. So being me, looking at it, seeing it happen, and then being in her consciousness and feeling everything that she had gone through. That's why I said that I was wrong to not want to help her, to immediately dismiss her, to immediately kick her out of my apartment, because of everything that she had to go through in order to find her way to me. There was like a break in time and I was able to slip through. I don't know if you guys understand what that means, but that's all that spirit is telling me. That's the only way I can explain it, is like there was a break in time and I was able to go into her reality so I could help her. So when I was able to break through, this dark entity that kept them there, I don't know where he was. I don't know how I wasn't there when he was there, because remember, it's like things are happening like one on top of the other, and it's all happening at once. Seeing things and it's still happening, but somehow I was there and I was protected and I was sent there to help her. So when we had this break in the time, I was able to, I was like, get up, come on, we can get out now, because they didn't know how to get through the house. Not being able to get out of the house was like them not being able to break free and cross over. So I had like this van waiting outside for them, and it's just like all symbolic of crossing over. So I was able to find my way through the house, and I was like, come on, you guys, get up, we have to go. And of course she was so scared. I don't even know how to describe that level of fear, because I've never felt anything like that in my life. It was being petrified. Fear beyond anything that I can even describe. Fear for her life, fear for her soul. It was really her last chance. That's how it just felt like everything was on the line with being able to get them out of this house. So I led them through the house. We had to sneak through, and I think there were like, I want to say 3 or 4 of them. Definitely like 3 guys and then her. They ran outside, they got into the van, and I remember I kept bouncing back and forth from being myself, who was still on the porch of the house, yelling at them saying, go, get in the van. And then I was her, and I was in the van, and I was looking back at me. So it was something where I was her looking at myself, and then I was myself looking at her. And then when they got out of the house, and of course, they're scared because they've been prisoners. They don't know if anything is safe. They get into the van, and then I'm her consciousness, and my heart was just beating faster than anything that I've ever felt. It was the heaviest feeling that I've ever felt in my life. And she was breathing like hyperventilating, and I was screaming at them saying, go, drive. And then we were like communicating telepathically, because she was saying to me, I don't know where to go. And I was saying, just follow the light, look up, do you see that light in the sky? It was a star. and they could drive to it. I know literally you can't drive a van into the sky. That's why it's all symbolic of crossing over to the other side. And she was crying and crying and she was saying, but I don't know which way to go. I don't know which way to go. And I was screaming, saying, just follow the star, just follow the light, just follow the light, just go. You'll be okay. Just go. And then they drove off, and then her heart was pounding, pounding, pounding so hard. And I was left up on the porch. And that's when I forced myself to wake up out of the dream. And let me tell you, it felt like I came from so far. Like I was so deep, deep, deep in different levels of consciousness that I had to fight. I felt myself like coming up through so many different layers to get back to myself, to get back to my body in my bed. And I woke up and I just gasped for air, like took in as much air as I could, like like that. And I stood straight up in my bed, and my heart was pounding and pounding and pounding, and I was just sobbing and sobbing and crying because everything just hit me all at once, because I was able to free them. And even when I woke up, I was saying, go, 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 go. And I was just praying, saying, please, Mother Goddess, please meet them there. I was asking my ancestors, I was asking, oh my God, just please meet them there, because they were like reaching, and just didn't know if they would make it. And that's what she was saying to me. She's like, I'm reaching. And I was awake, and I was saying this. I was like, keep reaching, you're almost there. And that's how I knew that they crossed over, because when I woke up, when I came back to reality, it was them crossing over, being free from that place. And it's the crazy thing is like I was still able to sense the presence of that dark entity, whatever that was that kept them there. And I was able to, like, in my mind, cement that whatever level that he was in, that level of darkness, that depth, I was able to cement it close, like symbolically in my mind, pictured it, to keep him there, to keep him trapped, so he can't come to my side, so he can't torture any more souls. It was like one of the most incredible experiences that I have ever had. It was so unbelievable. And when I woke up, I was sobbing because it all came to reality. You know, being in that state of consciousness with her, I was my higher self. So I was aware of what was going on. I didn't feel any of the emotions that could hold me back from helping her, because when I'm in that state, it's like I'm fearless. It's like I'm so brave, fully in my power, without any fear of anything. Like I have this shining light inside of me, the white light, and it just carries me through whenever I have to help someone with experiences like that. And then when I woke up, and I was out loud saying to her, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm so sorry that happened to you, because I could still feel all of the fear, everything that she felt, everything that she went through. I felt it in my reality now. Rethought about things, felt the gun pressed to the top of my head, saw it again, how everything went red, saw it again, how she looked down at her leg and he would shoot a bullet close to her leg just to scare her, just to make her cower. And could even see him and how he was like a force that could grow, and he got so much strength from being able to keep them in that state of fear. It was really something so unbelievable. They were stuck on a loop. They were so trapped. And I know how much she had to fight to find me, to get to me, to be able to help her. I didn't know who she was when she invaded my space and came in to my apartment. I was so selfish, like, oh, I just want to be alone. I just want to eat pizza. I don't want to deal with anything spiritual. But it's like, from that point on, I made a vow to myself that I would never refuse to help help another spirit in need like that again, because when I tell you the amount of suffering was so unbelievable, just felt so sorry for her that she had to go through something so horrendous like that. So that's the story of what she went through. I don't know what she was like in life, what happened to her, what led to those circumstances. But for her to want to show me so badly what happened to her and to help free her, it's something that I just feel like it's something that I had to share, and that they are finally at peace after all the torture and suffering that they had to endure and being trapped in something very hellish, very dark. Spirit realm is so real. The other side is real. I just wanted to let you guys know about one very powerful experience that I had. And I am so happy that you got to spend this time with me to listen to this story. Yeah, I love you guys so much, and I just want to say thank you. And if you are new to my channel and haven't already subscribed, please do, and please give this video a thumbs up. Share, comment, let me know what's going on with you guys, what you think about this, any of the experiences that you've had. And I just wish you all so much love and light, and just want to say thanks again for everything. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon.